Who wins from oil at $40 a barrel, gasoline at $2 a gallon? Well, a group of consumers we don't think about very often, and that's the Chinese consumer. Benefits dramatically. So I gave you sort of the doom and gloom scenario about China, but I want to say that they will experience a massive mitigating factor to the downturn in that country, and that is the emergence of and permanency of cheap gasoline, cheap oil and gas. So in 2009, 2010, China became the world's largest oil consumer and the world's largest oil importer. So cheap oil for them is a massive mitigating factor to the downturn that they are experiencing right now. So that's one of the sort of good things about cheap energy is that we don't think about the Chinese consumer. Remember I said they buy $20 billion worth of ag products from the U.S. So cheap energy is actually going to help them out during this hard time. But the consumer that we probably most care about, and the one I've been focused on, is the U.S. consumer. The U.S. consumer benefits dramatically from cheap energy. We saw it happen after the Asia crisis of 97 and 98. Remember, we talked about that in the very beginning. But essentially what it means, because Americans drive so much, is that those Americans that drive a lot, those Americans that drive 20 miles each way to work, 40 miles total, and there's a lot of them. I bet there's a lot of people in this room who drive 20 miles to work, right? You want to live out there where you can get all that space and land and all that, right? I mean, that's the American thing. That's what we do. What does cheap energy mean for them? Well, the difference between the price at the pump of over $4 a gallon versus $2 a gallon, that's about $1,500 a year that drops right into their pockets. That's the savings. Drops right to the bottom line. And it doesn't matter if you make $100,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $10,000 a year. The bonus is the same. It's like handing every household in America a check for $1,500, which I think we tried right after the recession. Wasn't that one of the stimulus packages, right? Okay? So it's just like that. We're just going to write a check. Every household in America gets $1,500 right like that. And you can think to yourself, well, $1,500, that didn't make a big difference to me. But I got to tell you, what's my brother? He's a farmer in Arkansas. He drives 20 miles to work each day, each direction. What's my brother in Arkansas going to do with $1,500 extra in his pocket every year? Well, he's going to spend it, isn't he? On beer, cigarettes, loose women. And if you don't believe me or you think that I'm throwing him under the bus, if he were in the back of the room right now, he would say, yes. He would, and he would say, I have one word for you, Las Vegas. That's what he would say, I promise, right? That's what he would say. My brother's going to Vegas with that money.